Hey, Krishna. So, for those of you who were expecting Amarendra today, he's out of town. He'll be back maybe later this evening. He will be giving class on Wednesday this week. So, in the meantime, we'll be giving class today. Yeah, I just said that Amarendra, for those of you who thought we're expecting Amarendra today, he's out of town, and he will be back later today, and he will give class this week on Wednesday. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parvikacharya Satara Sada Shri Sriman His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anantakoti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prams Go Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Jai Radha Krishna Gopa Gopanath Jai Makunda Radha Kunda Giri Gauranga Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Gaur Premanandi all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 65, and this is verse 10. Kvachit smarati va bandhun pitaram mataram chasa chasam apyasa mataram drashtum sakrit apyagyamishyati apivasmarate smakam anusevam mahabhuja kachit smarati va bandhun pitaram mataram chasa apyasa mataram drashtum sakrit apyagyamishyati apivasmarate smakam anusevam mahabhuja kachit smarati va bandhun pitaram mataram sa apyasa mataram drashtum sakrit apyagyamishyati apivasmarate smakam anusevam mahabhuja kachit smarati va bandhun pitaram mataram chasa nastum zakaraknam vanishyati Apiva smarate smakam anusevam mahabhuja kachit smaratniva bandhun pitaram mataram chasa apyasau mataram drashtum sakridapyagamishyati apiva smarate smakam anusevam mahabhuja. Ladies? Rajit Maratniva Handun Mitaram Mataram Shasa Apyasa Mataram Drashtum Sakridyapyagamishyati Apivasmarate smakam Anusevam mahabhujam Kachit, whether Smarati, remembers, Va, or Bandhun, his family members, Pitaram, his father, Mataram, his mother, Cha, and Saha, he, Api, also, Asau, himself, Mataram, his mother, Drashtum, to see, Sakrit, once, Api, even, Agamishyati, will come, Api, indeed, Va, or, Smarate, he remembers, Asmakam, our, Anusevam, steady service, Maha, mighty, Bhujaha, whose arms. Translation and purport by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Does he remember his family members, especially his father and mother? Do you think he will ever come back even once to see his mother? And does mighty armed Krishna remember the service we always did for him? Please repeat. Does he remember his family members, especially his father and mother? Do you think he will ever come back even once to see his mother? And does mighty armed Krishna remember the service we always did for him? Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, excuse me, it doesn't say that. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti comments that the gopis would render service to Lord Krishna by stringing flower garlands, skillfully using perfumes, and constructing fans, beds, and canopies out of flower petals. By these simple acts of love, the gopis rendered the greatest service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Ajnana Timarandasya Gyananganan Shalakaya Chakshul Unmilitam Jnana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminitanamani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharani Nirvasesa Shunyavadi Paschachadeshtarni Panchakalpa Tarubhyascha kripa sindhu bhyevacha patitanam pavanevyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. By these simple acts of love, the gopis rendered the greatest service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Simple acts of love. It says here, stringing flower garlands, skillfully using perfumes, constructing fans, beds, and canopies out of flower petals. It's little things, but they're out of love. And that's total surrender. Because when one engages in Krishna consciousness out of love, because it is a matter of the heart, we oftentimes think that we have to think a lot to be Krishna conscious. But actually, we don't have to think so much. We have to gain the feeling for Krishna. And of course, thinking is there because we have to be, as Prabhupada said, we can't be blind followers. We have to understand the philosophy, and we have to understand how to apply that in our lives. But it is not simply mechanics. Prabhupada over and over again called it the science of love of God. But this science ultimately is poetry, because the Bhagavatam is poetry. Rupa Goswami and the 6 Goswamis, they wrote poetry. And it is the poet's words that evoke the feeling of love. I'm going to read Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Jiva Goswami's tikas here. They're not too long, but they help us open up more about the feelings of the gopis here, feelings we've seen before in other places in the 10th canto. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, and this is a matter of their words, another conversation as you like. Well, maybe he does not remember us, but does he remember his friends, paternal and maternal relatives, and his mother and father, Yashoda and Nanda, or not? We know that the women of the city, more expert in the pastimes of conjugal love than us, are giving him more happiness. But he must remember us for making flower garlands, smearing sandalwood on his body, making fans, beds, and canopies of flowers and young leaves. With that intention, they ask, does he sometimes remember the services we did for him? We do not know if his strong arms are still spread with kumkum and unguents, with the cessation of his devotion to us. I'll read that again. We do not know if his strong arms are still spread with kumkum and unguents, with the cessation of his devotion to us. But there is never cessation, but they're thinking that. Jiva Goswami writes, though his happiness is our happiness, he should remember those who are dear to him. With this in mind, they inquire, does he remember his friends like Sridhama? Without doubt, this question indicates their lamentation. Does he remember how we consistently worshipped him? Repetition of the word va indicates their sorrow. Sarcastically, they say, that person with strong arms, a great person with such characteristics would definitely remember. Out of longing with intense love, they mention 3 types of persons of increasing excellence: cowherd friend, father, and mother. Let him forget his friends, but how can he forget his father? They mention themselves last, separately, out of humility and feeling lowly. Out of longing with intense love, they mention 3 types of persons in increasing excellence. The cowherd friends, of course, in Sakya Ras. Then father and mother, both in Vatsalya. But father is not as intensely a loving relationship as mother, which is the most intense. And they mention themselves lastly out of feeling lowly. But their position in Madhurya Ras is the highest position. So when I was reading this over, immediately what came to mind was Yugayatam Namishena Chakshusha Pravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahena Me. O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. So the Shikshastika, by the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, the last two verses deal with love and separation and then love and union, Vipralamba and Sambhoga. But it's the Vipralamba, the feeling of separation, which in the Bhagavatam is the impetus for the greatest and most wonderful glorifications of the Supreme Personality, Sri Krishna. In fact, we could argue, and it's very much here in the writing, that there is what is called a motif, which is a theme, but it's deeper. The word motif means something deeper than the theme. It means an essence. In other words, it's used in art, like in music. The composer will have a theme which it runs through a long composition, but it keeps coming back and reminding one of the core feelings. Or in the case of someone writing a book, it's something that comes up again and again, some kind of reminder of the core meaning of what's being taught. Movies use it too in soundtracks. They have a soundtrack that runs throughout the entire movie, and it keeps bringing us back to that emotional connection with the characters. So in the same way, there is a motif in the 10th canto, and we can see it. I mean, let's read this verse again. Does he remember his family members, especially his father and mother? Do you think he will ever come back even once to see his mother? And does mighty-armed Krishna remember the service we always did for him? And we can see that this is echoing another section of the Bhagavatam, it's described as the Song of the Bee, or the Brahmar Gita, which is the 47th chapter. It's some chapters back, 18 chapters back, in which Krishna sends Uddhava ostensibly to comfort the inhabitants of Vrindavan, which he tries to do philosophically, and which doesn't even have an effect on helping them. It may even make things worse, because they don't want to see Krishna, as God or super soul or something like that. And so after consoling, or trying to console, Krishna's mother and father, Yashoda and Nanda, he then attempts to try to console the gopis with philosophical arguments. And of course, he goes into these arguments, and they're so unconvincing, and they're so leaving a gap in their hearts, that Srimati Radharani, she just wanders off somewhere else while he's talking in the background, blah, 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 as far as she's concerned. And she starts having a conversation with a bee. And that bee, she speaks to the bee as if that bee is a messenger from Krishna, and has a conversation with Krishna, that rascal who has gone off to Mathura. And therefore, you, my dear bee, must also be a rascal, because you're sending the messages. So after that interlude, which is early in the chapter, this is a very long chapter, the gopis then address Uddhava. And it's a long series of verses. I'll read just some of them, beginning from Canto 10, chapter 47, verse number 40. And hear the same cadence and the same mood as we just heard in the verse we're covering today. Oh, gentle Uddhava is the elder brother of Gada, now bestowing on the city women the pleasure that actually belongs to us. We suppose those ladies worship him with generous glances full of affectionate, shy smiles. Sri Krishna is expert in all kinds of conjugal affairs and is now the darling of the city women. How can he not become entangled now that he's constantly adored by their enchanting words and gestures? O saintly one, does Govinda ever remember us during his conversations with the city women? Does he ever mention us, village girls, as he freely talks with them? Does he recall those nights in the Vrindavan forest, lovely with lotus, jasmine, and the bright moon? As we glorified his charming pastimes, he enjoyed with us his beloved girlfriends in the circle of the rasa dance, which resounded with the music of ankle bells. Will that descendant of Dasharha return here and by the touch of his limbs bring back to life those who are now burning with the grief he himself has caused? Will he save us in that way, just as Lord Indra brings a forest back to life with his water-bearing clouds? But why should Krishna come here after winning a kingdom, killing his enemies and marrying the daughters of kings? He's satisfied there, surrounded by all his friends and well-wishers. The great soul Krishna is the Lord of the goddess fortune, and he automatically achieves whatever he desires. How can we forest dwellers or any other woman fulfill his purposes when he is already fulfilled within himself? So we see again this sort of longing. Where is he? Is he coming back? This vipralamba, this sort of why we want to be with Krishna. And it's so intense. And they're feeling sorrow, and they're feeling remorse, or they're feeling devastation. They're feeling these heavy feelings, which in the material world, of course, are certainly not to be desired. Because in the material world, when one feels these feelings, it is actually the sign of impending disaster or doom or death. But in the spiritual world, of course, there's none of that. It's all a present day loving relationship with Krishna. There isn't time like we know. There's not a past like we know. There's not a future like we know. There's just simply the present loving relationship with Krishna, which takes the form of different emotions. Inconceivable. That's why we don't actually preach that in the very beginning to people. Oh, yes, and you join this movement and you'll be crying all the time in devastation of separation from Krishna. No. We say, chant and be happy. And of course, we also want to chant and be happy. We're not, at least I'm not, qualified for these great spiritual emotions, not just yet. But we chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Every day on our beads and in Kirtan, we see the deities, we associate with devotees. And in this way, we gradually develop our qualification, our adhikar, to actually enter into the higher pastimes in the spiritual world. And we should also note that this sort of separation is also found even before the gopis met Krishna. And that it comes in the chapter which is 21, which is the gopis glorify the song of Krishna's flute. This is the Venu Gita, the very famous. And I'll just read a few verses from here. But this is Purvarag. This is before they even meet him. When the rivers hear the flute song of Krishna, their minds begin to desire him. And thus the flow of their currents is broken, and their waters are agitated, moving around in whirlpools. Then with the arms of their waves, the rivers embrace Murali's lotus feet, and holding on to them, present offerings of lotus flowers. In the company of Balaram and the cowherd boys, Lord Krishna is continually vibrating his flute as he herds all the animals of Vraj, even under the full heat of the summer sun. Seeing this, the cloud in the sky has expanded himself out of love. He is rising high and constructing out of his own body with its multitude of flower-like droplets of water an umbrella for the sake of his friend. And they also compare themselves. They say that actually that the deer and the cows, they're most fortunate because they're able to hear, like he says, using their upraised ears as vessels. The cows are drinking the nectar of the flute song flowing out of Krishna's mouth. The calves, their mouths full of milk from their mother's moist nipples, stand still as they take Govinda within themselves through their tear-filled eyes and embrace him with their hearts. So they're longing for this association that the cowherd boys get, that even the deer, the foolish deer, as it says here, have approached Lord Maharaj Nanda's son, who is gorgeously dressed and is playing on his flute. Indeed, both the doe and the bucks worship the Lord with looks of love and affection. How it is that the deer, the does, are actually able to go with their husbands, the bucks, but they have to ultimately leave their family. Such is their renunciation. And such is the love of the gopis. It is the pinnacle of all love. No one in all of Krishna's realm, spiritual, material, anywhere, has the love of the gopis. And Krishna actually says, I cannot repay you for your acts of love. I couldn't do this even in a lifetime of Lord Brahma. So this is an internal, beautiful relationship they have with Krishna, and we're reading about this now, and it's meant to engender some feeling in our heart. But we are outsiders. We are not inside this world just yet. We've been given a chance because our guru, Srila Prabhupada, our Gurudev, or the followers of Srila Prabhupada, and the previous acharyas, going back to Lord Chaitanya and the six Goswamis, they are actually giving us the blueprint or the pathway in which we can ultimately enter into these pastimes. But for the most part, we still have to be very careful and understand our position in the relationship to these pastimes. And for that, we have to actually go for an example of someone who realizes this. We go to Lord Brahma. As we know, Lord Brahma, he essentially is the god of the universe. I mean, we should never think that Lord Brahma he's so much greater than the, quote, demigods like Indra. The demigods like Indra are coming and going. I mean, there's 504,000 Manus in the lifetime of Brahma. And they're coming and and within each of these Manus, there's so many Indras. So there's millions and millions of Indras in the time that Lord Brahma is alive within this, which is the length of the universe. So this is not a person who is foolish or uninformed or in any way disqualified. He's a pure devotee. But he's not a pure devotee who can enter into the pastimes of Vrindavan because he's not qualified. And he proves he's not qualified because he tries to steal the cowherd boys and the cows and play a game with Krishna, and Krishna completely turns it on him. And he realizes, oh, I'm not so great. Krishna's great. This little boy, he's greater than me. And so after this bewilderment, he speaks a long series of prayers, which we'll cover just a few here. This is the prayer of a person, of a devotee who's longing to be able to have that association with Krishna in Vrindavan, but is unqualified. And so, beginning with Canto 10, chapter 14, verse 32, this is the famous verse, Aho Bhagyam, Nanda Gopa Vrajakasam, Yan Mitram Paramanandam, Purnam Brahma Sanatanam. How greatly fortunate are Nanda Maharaj, the cowherd men, and all the other inhabitants of Brajabhumi. There is no limit to their good fortune, because the absolute truth, the source of transcendental bliss, the eternal supreme Brahman, has become their friend. And he goes on speaking. Yet even though the extent of the good fortune of these residents of Vrindavan is inconceivable, we 11 presiding deities of the various senses, headed by Lord Shiva, are also most fortunate, because the senses of these devotees of Vrindavan are the cups through which we repeatedly drink the nectarian intoxicating beverage of the honey of your lotus feet. Just see. It doesn't say directly, but it means hearing about Krishna. When we hear about Krishna repeatedly, we drink the nectarian intoxicating beverage of the honey of Krishna's lotus feet. So they're most fortunate, because the residents of Vrindavan are giving them so much nectar. And he goes on to speak. My greatest possible good fortune would be to take any birth whatever in this forest of Gokula, and have my head bathed by the dust falling from the lotus feet of any of its residents. Their entire life and soul is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mukunda, the dust of whose lotus feet is still being searched for in the Vedic mantras. So, we can speak about God all we want, but if we're still short of this relationship with the Lord in love, like the inhabitants of Vrindavan, we're in the same page as Brahmaji, who says that I'll take any birth to have the dust of the lotus feet of the inhabitants of Braj on my head. Uddhava says the same thing. He says, I would like to be a little creeper in Vrindavan. So what is our aspiration? Our aspiration is somehow or other, let me be in Vrindavan. And Lord Brahma continues. My mind, I'm going to skip this one here. My dear Lord Krishna, until people become your devotees, their material attachments and desires remain thieves, their homes remain prisons, and their affectionate feelings for their family members remain foot shackles. And then the purport here states at the very end, in conclusion, by studying the extraordinary status of the residents in Vrindavan, we can see that the essential quality of their lives is pure Krishna consciousness, the rendering of loving service to the Lord without a trace of material desire or mental speculation. Such loving service to the original personality of Godhead immediately creates the atmosphere of Sri Vrindavan Dham, the kingdom of God. And later on, Lord Brahma says, in the last verse I'll quote, there are people who say, I know everything about Krishna. Let them think that way. As far as I'm concerned, I do not wish to speak very much about this matter. O my Lord, let me say this much. As far as your opulences are concerned, they are all beyond the reach of my mind, body, and word. So we can't reach Krishna through anything on our own. We reach by the kripa, the mercy, Guru Kripa. Guru Kripa, Prasade Bhai, Bhakti Lata Bij. Guru's mercy. It's not that he gives us the Bhakti Lata Bij. The Bhakti Lata Bij is always in the heart, but he turns on the switch so which we can actually understand our relationship with Krishna. Prabhupada speaks about this in a class that he gave in Los Angeles in 1968. So we are following the 6 Goswamis. Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Parao. Always chanting, dancing and chanting. What is chanting? Not any slogan, but Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is chanting. Chanting does not mean that you'll chant like some parrot. No. Chanting Krishna. Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana. Sravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. Kirtanam, chanting. Sravanam, hearing. What? These are there are so many subject matters of chanting and hearing. No, Krishna or Vishnu. So chanting and hearing. This was inaugurated by Lord Chaitanya and followed by the 6 Goswamis, and we are following in the footsteps of the 6 Goswamis. Therefore, we should offer our respectful obeisances. Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyago Sri Jiva Gopalako. We offer our respectful obeisances to Rupa Goswami, Sanat Goswami, and to Raghunath Goswami, Jiva Goswami, and Gopal Bhatta Goswami. And how did they act? What was their mood? Their mood was always vipralamba. Their mood was always that we didn't see Krishna last night. We're looking for Krishna. We're looking for Krishna everywhere we go. And the end of the last verse of the Sri Goswami Astakam is the English is. I offer my respectful obeisances to the 6 Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who were chanting very loudly everywhere in Vrindavan, shouting, Queen of Vrindavan, Radharani, O Lalita, O son of Nanda Maharaj, where are you now? Are you just on the hill of Govardhan, or are you under the trees on the bank of the Yamuna? Where are you? These were their moods in executing Krishna consciousness. So we want to imbibe this mood. I'm not ready for anything other than simply trying to chant my rounds nicely, associate with devotees nicely, do some service nicely. I'm not able to understand anything, but by the grace of Guru, somehow or other, there'll be enlightenment. We'll see. And in the meantime, Krishna provides little bits of pieces to keep us going. You know, it's sort of like the carrot in front of the donkey. Well, we've got the carrot in front of us, the pure devotional service, and we may not be able to reach it yet. But eventually, we're going to be able to grab that carrot. But only because the Guru takes the carrot off the stick and gives it to us. Because it's by his mercy only that we can come to the platform of understanding these pastimes in Vrindavan. I simply want to be like Lord Brahma and be able to say, let me take some kind of birth in Vrindavan, even if it's just a stone on the path where the gopis run to see Krishna. That will be enough. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Oh, well, anyway, by Krishna's mercy, somehow or other, there's a little bit of an enlightenment in the dull brain.
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Mainam Kanvandam Maravindanalayataptam Varhavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Kandar Agom Vidamaniyam Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakalen Priya Priti Manti Vasyanti Panti Kayanti Chiram Jaganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami
Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Vaskachadi Satarine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Vaskachadi Satarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Sadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jai Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Shri Radhe Jaya, Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Shri Radhe Jaya, Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Shri Radhe Jaya, Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya, 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 Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Shila Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada, Prabhupada Jaya, Shila Prabhu, Gurudev, Gurudev, Gurudev Jaya Jaya, Gurudev Jaya Jaya, Gurudev, Gurudev, Gurudev Jaya Jaya, Gurudev.
Jai Radha Krishna Gopavana Shai Mukunda Radha Kunda Giri Gaurani Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Mayapur Navritam Jai Jagat Puri Dham Ki Jai Ganga Maya Ki Yamuna Maya Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Shrimati Tulsi Devi Ki Harinam Sankirtan Ki Brihad Madanga Ki Samaveda Bhaktavinda Ki Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Garanga Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Marjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairavya Chandrika Vitaranam Vijavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pratipanam Pranamrita Swadanam Sarvatmasnapanam param vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Haribo. Nam namakari bahuda nija sarva shaktis tatrapitani amitasmaranena kala etadrishita vakripa bhagavan mamapi dordaiva midrishami hajjani nanuraga trinadapi sunichena tororapi suhishuna amani namana dana kirtaniya sadahari nadanam najanam nasundarim kavitam vajagadisha kamaye mama janmani janmani ishvare bhavatat bhaktir hoita kitvaim ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam buddha kripaya tavapada pankaja stita duli sajashim vachintaya nayanam galashu daraya varanam gadgarudaya gira pulakarnishitam vapukada tavanamagrahane bhavishyati yuga yatam namishena chakshusha pravashayatam shunayatam jagat sarvam govindam virahena me Ashlishyavapadamritam anastumam adarshanam marmahatakarotuva yatatatava vidadatulam patamat prananatastusa evanapara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Oh, my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings. And thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you've invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh, my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all for others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate